In 1960, a single paycheck could buy a home, feed a family, send children to school, and still leave a little money in savings. Today, many families struggle even with two full-time incomes. What happened to the power of one father's salary? Did money lose its value? Or did life simply become more expensive? To understand, we must return to a time when one man's weekly paycheck meant security for an entire household. America in 1960 stood at the height of post-war confidence. The country was booming. Factories ran day and night. New neighborhoods appeared almost overnight. Soldiers had returned home, built families, and stepped into steady jobs. The American dream did not feel distant. It lived on every street. In most homes, only one income paid the bills. The father worked. The mother often stayed home. Life was not luxurious, but it was steady, predictable, and built on routine. Money was limited, but it felt enough. There was comfort in knowing what tomorrow would bring. The father of 1960 woke up before sunrise. He dressed quietly so he wouldn't wake the children. Coffee steamed in the kitchen. A packed lunch waited in a brown paper bag. He kissed his wife goodbye and stepped into the early morning air. His work was physical. Factory lines, construction sites, repair shops, farms, offices with humming machines and ticking clocks. The job might be exhausting and repetitive, but it was stable. Many men worked for the same company for 20, even 30 years. Loyalty was rewarded with security. His pride was not found in wealth, it was found in responsibility, in paying the bills on time, in keeping food on the table, in knowing his children slept safely under his roof every night. His paycheck was not just money, it was identity, provider, protector, foundation, and that single paycheck could do something remarkable. It could buy a modest home with a small yard, nothing fancy, but owned. A place where children could run barefoot in the grass and families could grow roots. Mortgages were short, payments were manageable. It could afford a family car, one car for everything: work, school, church, Sunday visits, quiet evening drives. Gas was cheap. Repairs were simple. It covered groceries for a full week: bread, milk, meat, vegetables, eggs. Paid in cash. No credit cards, no digital transactions, just honest money exchanged for honest food. Children attended public schools without crushing costs. Books were inexpensive. College was possible without lifelong debt. Healthcare was affordable. Bills were few. Insurance was simple. And somehow there was still room to save. A few dollars set aside each week. Coins dropped into jars. A small bank account slowly growing. A safety net for the future. The father's salary did not promise luxury. It promised stability. And for most families, that was enough. Evenings moved slowly in 1960. When the father came home, his hands often smelled of metal, oil, or dust. Children heard his footsteps before they saw him. Dinner was served at the table, everyone together. No glowing screens, no outside noise, just voices, stories, laughter, and shared fatigue. Vacations were simple: long drives, campsites, visits to relatives, not resorts, not flights, just time together. Children did not expect much. Toys were few. Clothes were worn longer. Gratitude grew naturally because everything felt earned. The home ran on routine, cooperation, discipline, and trust. And somehow, it worked. But as the decades passed, the world began to change. Now, let us look at today. Today's father may wake up just as early, but the world he steps into is very different. Jobs are no longer lifelong. Companies downsize. Technology replaces labor. Degrees are required simply to compete. Many fathers work longer hours than ever before. Overtime, second jobs, side incomes, and still, the financial pressure never fully lifts. Today, a single income is rarely enough. Two incomes have become the standard, both parents working to simply keep up. The pride of providing still exists, but the weight carried with it is far heavier than before. Today, much of a father's paycheck is gone before it is even touched. Housing alone consumes a massive portion of income. Many families rent instead of own. Mortgages stretch for decades. Food costs climb year after year. Healthcare feels uncertain. Insurance premiums rise. Childcare rivals rent in many cities. Vehicles are no longer simple purchases. Education often comes with debt that lasts a lifetime. Savings, once a normal part of life, now feel like a luxury for many families. The paycheck is larger in numbers, but smaller in power. In 1960, a family could look toward the future with quiet confidence. The father's paycheck arrived each week with certainty. The amount rarely changed, but neither did the bills. There was comfort in that predictability. Children grew up knowing the refrigerator would be full, the lights would stay on, and the walls around them would remain their home. Security was not loud or luxurious. It was silent and steady. Today, certainty has become rare. Income changes, hours change, contracts end, entire industries disappear. The idea of staying in one job for 20 or 30 years now feels almost impossible for many workers. Stability, once the foundation of family life, has become fragile. In 1960, the cost of living followed the rhythm of wages. A father could reasonably expect that his hard work would keep pace with his family's needs. When he received a small raise, it made a real difference. A little extra money meant a little more security. The balance between work and life felt fair. Today, that balance feels broken. Even when salaries increase, expenses seem to rise faster. Housing, healthcare, education, insurance, transportation, utilities, every necessity competes aggressively for a share of the paycheck. Families are not just budgeting for comfort anymore, they are budgeting for survival. In the past, money problems existed, but they were often temporary. A slow season, a short illness, a damaged car. Most families could recover. Today, one emergency can permanently alter a family's financial future. Medical bills, job loss, or debt can trap households for years, sometimes decades. The emotional weight of that reality is immense. In 1960, children rarely witnessed financial fear inside the home. Parents worried in quiet ways. They shielded their children from their anxiety. The home felt like a safe place, protected from the pressures of the outside world. Children felt secure because their parents felt secure. Today, children often feel the stress their parents try to hide. They sense hesitation at the grocery store. They overhear conversations about bills. They notice when vacations are postponed, when repairs are delayed, when plans quietly disappear. Financial pressure has become part of childhood itself. Time has changed as much as money. In 1960, the father worked long hours, but work ended when he came home. Evenings belonged to the family. Weekends offered rest. There were no emails, no constant notifications, no late-night messages from supervisors. Home and work existed in separate worlds. Today, work follows many fathers everywhere. Phones buzz during dinner. Messages arrive late at night. The boundary between earning and living has blurred. Time with family is often interrupted, divided, or postponed. Presence is now shared with obligation. In the past, money was not only about survival, it was about dignity. A man took pride in knowing his labor alone could support his family. That pride shaped his confidence. It shaped how he carried himself in the world. He felt useful, needed, respected. Today, many fathers still work just as hard, often harder, but feel that their efforts are never enough. 2 incomes, side jobs, overtime, and still the fear remains. The question is no longer how to provide more. It is how to avoid losing what little stability exists. Progress brought astonishing advances. Medicine extended life. Technology connected the world. Comfort became ordinary. But cost quietly followed every improvement. Each convenience required another payment, another subscription, another bill, another obligation. Life grew faster, and with speed came complexity. In 1960, few families spoke of burnout, anxiety, or financial exhaustion. These struggles existed, but they were not constant companions. Today, they are part of daily conversation. Stress has become a normal condition of working life. The father of 1960 carried the weight of responsibility on his shoulders, but he carried it with confidence. He believed his work mattered. He believed it was enough. The father of today often carries the same weight with uncertainty. He works longer, plans harder, worries deeper. Not because he lacks effort, but because the ground beneath his effort no longer feels solid. Yet it would be wrong to say the past was perfect. The world of 1960 had limits. Opportunities were fewer for many. Women's roles were restricted. Work was often dangerous and physically demanding. Medical care, while affordable, was far less advanced. Comfort came with sacrifice. But what the past offered, quietly and consistently, was the belief that effort would be rewarded with stability. Today, effort is abundant. Reward is uncertain. So what truly changed the meaning of a father's salary? Was it inflation alone, the housing market, education costs, healthcare systems, global competition, or the transformation of society itself? Perhaps it was not one single cause, but the slow accumulation of many. The world grew bigger, faster, more connected, more expensive, and with each change, the power of one paycheck weakened just a little more. In 1960, a father could stand in his doorway at night, look at his sleeping family, and feel something deep and powerful. Assurance. The quiet knowledge that tomorrow would look much like today, and that today was enough. Today, many fathers stand in that same doorway with a different feeling. Determination mixed with worry, strength mixed with fear, love mixed with pressure. They still work for the same reason their fathers did, for their families, for their children, for the hope that tomorrow will be better. And perhaps that is what never changed. The value of money shifts, the cost of living rises, systems evolve, technology transforms everything it touches. But the heart of a father remains remarkably the same across generations. It is the desire to protect, to provide, to secure a future, to give children a life that feels safe. In 1960, one paycheck could often fulfill that promise. Today, it takes far more, and that simple truth may be the greatest difference of all. So we return to the question that began this story. Was life harder then, or is it harder now? Those who lived through both eras often know the answer is not simple. Each time carried its own burdens, each demanded its own kind of strength. But one thing is certain. A father's salary once represented not just income, but security itself. And security, more than wealth, is what every family truly seeks.